Now I request Mr. Abhijeet Sinha, National Program Director, Ease of Doing Business. I request you, sir, to please kindly join with the dignitary on the dais. Mr. Abhijeet Sinha is a National Program Director of the Ease of Doing Business, Program and Country Director at ASSAR. He additionally leads the National Highways of Electrical Vehicles project. Now I request Mr. Abhijeet, Project Director, National Highways for EV and National Program Director, Ease of Doing Business, to please kindly give the presentation on future of mobility, what's driving India's push towards EVs.
Good morning, everyone. I am very delighted to be part of the summit, and all of you who have came here would make sure that you take something with you back, for which you should be happy to say that I participated in the summit and brought something significant and worth attending, spending your time. So by the time our technical team upload my presentation, I'll tell you about me and Ease of Doing Business. Ease of Doing Business is a national version of Vibrant Gujarat. Vibrant Gujarat used to be a very significant place where people from all across the world used to come with new technologies, new ideas and innovation. And there used to be a different sort of ease of doing business. If you look at the way our then Chief Minister, Mr. Modi, used to work, then there was a requirement and there was a need to replicate it on the national level. And that is, as a CMO, Chief Minister's Office, is you all have worked in the projects, so you know it's a bit easy to control in terms of permission, in terms of giving ease and access. But when you become Prime Minister and you have to hold a responsibility of a country where a lot of autonomous bodies, a lot of act, a lot of parliamentary affairs, budgeting, multi-ministerial approvals, interministerial policy making is required, you need to have a different approach to bring a new technology. So with this approach, this organization, what we call today, it's our 10th year, from 2014 to 2013. In March, we will complete our 10 years. This Indian primarily premier piloting agency who only works on the piloting of emerging technology. So we are not that ease of doing business, which does the company making and ROC filing and tax and other thing. We only work primarily focused on the emerging technologies, which does not have a rule book in India. And if a emerging technology does not have a rule book, it is very difficult for that technology to flourish and become a mass deployment. So with that vision, it was created. If you can upload my presentation. It's there already. About me, I have been in the 2013, so you can call me a bit mad that we left our highly paid job from international organization. Not me only, 200 more people with, I think, 4,500 outreach agents who worked to bring this new thought process of reform, perform and transform in 2013. I left with 200 people who were in the core team of Citizen for Accountable Governance, who campaigned for 2014, then 2019, and this year also we'll be campaigning for the new accountability and transparency in the governance, which we all expect to be. At this stage of time, I'm heading Project Director of National Highway for EV. In people's term, we call it e-highway, electric highway. How this electric highway is important for net zero, I don't need to explain all this to you. Our previous session has very well spoken that we need to reduce our logistical cost from 14% of our GDP to 9% or anything which comes in a one digit. How do we do that? How do we do it? Because metro is itself a urban infrastructure. Metro is not an intercity infrastructure. And if you look at the logistic is not inside the city. Logistic is from one city to another city. And in this logistic affair, if we do not reduce or step out of fossil fuel deadlock, then we are still into handcuff of paying what your international crude oil market says you to pay. So definitely we were supposed to create an e-highway, and these e-highway, if you look at the global success story, then Germany, Sweden, Finland. These three countries had e-highways, but they had a different sort of e-highway, different type of e-highways. Their e-highways are overhead cables. Israel had the convection line, but very small prototypes. India, when it came to our consensus and our understanding that how do we create an e-highway, which gives us an quality and also congestion free, should be net zero, it should be renewably charged, and it should be in a position to give us a freedom which we were not getting in the Germany. So Germany freedom, what is not there in the freedom, I'll say first. Cable is equivalent of putting a railway line, overhead cable. The second part is you have to have a special type of vehicle which has extended arm to touch that cable. So your electric car, my electric car, normal electric cars would not go on that highway. That is why technically it is not called e-highway, it is called electric corridor. Though in normal common media we call everything e-highway. That cable cost per kilometer is 22 crore rupees. So I'll start from the end. We'll take you to what India has decided to be. I believe this presentation should work. Yeah, or it should be on this TV. So I guess it is visible on the screen, and this is one of the station. Let me take you from the end. Yes. So here we are globally from where it start, though it comes in the slide at last. Germany has a first trial in 2021 is a 10 kilometer. India has a first trial in 225 kilometer between Delhi to Agra on the Yamuna Expressway to create that e-highway. German had the second trial on 12 kilometer between Autobahn 5 and their federal Munich airport to Berlin airport to the interchange, Lübeck interchange. Third trial they conducted with 3.4 kilometer. This is hydrogen trucks. We did not conducted 3 trial. We only conducted 2 trial. Delhi to Yamuna Expressway 225 and then Delhi to Jaipur. I don't know how much visible it is, but the second one which you are seeing 272 kilometer, that is Delhi to Jaipur. The second trial and first trial, after these 2 trials, we did not require to do the third trial. Instead of third trial, we opened the station which is going to hold this infrastructure to charge an electric vehicle, to give hydrogen fuel, flux fuel, and all future fuels of what type of trucks it will come. When it comes to infrastructure, you cannot only create a charging station. There will be changes in the transport in coming time. So these stations are equipped for the solar power to be generated and how it to be used. The challenges which came across and which I think is the session is all about is the cost part of it. If you can see the difference between German and Indian cost, it's 22 crore rupees per kilometer German highway, and ours cost is only 1 crore rupees per kilometer. The kind of deployment we wanted to do was only possible if we understand that in last 10 years of electric mobility, what went wrong. If you look at last 10 years of electric mobility, then now you have chargers which are deployed and bought from the government tenders and government funds and pocket. Their utilization is 3 to 5%. Maximum utilization is 3 to 5%. You can imagine the break-even period of 45 years. In 45-year break-even period, at least 4 to 5 generation of cars will change, electric cars. Right now, we are in the second generation of electric car. So that's the scenario which we wanted to change. And these 2 trials which we conducted brought us to the correct scenario of takeaway. I'll take you to the trial page. This is first trial. So first trial had these four results. First is when we define difference between German highway and Indian highway, there has to be a clear distinction that when we are not having the overhead wire, then how are we assuring the logistic support? So if any vehicle shut down within 30 minutes on that particular breakdown venue, the nearest station is in capability to send backup with charger and with battery. So that's the kind of technology which ensured in the first. Second, the EVs which we are buying or the vehicle which we will buy in India would be 30% less in price because battery is something which you are not going to buy if you are running on these highways. You only have to buy vehicle. Battery is owned by a company which is leasing a battery to you. To put it in small words, you remember Reliance India Mobile, which used to be 500 rupees mobile phone to you. It created a lot of exigency and it created a lot of hype on the on the mobility side. Is the same. We don't own the mobile. Mobile is owned by somebody else. You are only owning the subscription. Third is 30% capex utilization. Right now, the current utilization in the city is 5%. So we pulled it up to 30% by the fleet operation and bus and cars, which will be deployed between two cities. And the last but not least, the break-even period, which was 45 years of a normal charging infrastructure settled today, it shrank to 40 months, 36 to 40 months. So how this all has happened, it's a detailed discussion. You can read about it on internet. The second trial is the strength of the project, which usually we forget, and that I believe personally is the reason why electric mobility did not flourish the way it should have flourished. The basic understanding, आप सब लोग इससे agree करेंगे that डीजल और पेट्रोल से इलेक्ट्रिक मोबिलिटी सस्ती होती है, ऐसा बार बार बोला जाता है, कहा जाता है. पर किलोमीटर रन सस्ता होगा अगर आप इलेक्ट्रिक पे जाएंगे तो. लेकिन if it is actually cheaper, then why it is not translated to the user? If I ask you, you are going to buy a car which is going to cost you 6-7 lakh rupees, Swift Desire, and I tell you that electric वाला सस्ता होगा, आप इलेक्ट्रिक गाड़ी खरीदो and then you have to buy a car which is costing you 25 lakh rupees. Then सस्ता बाद में होगा, आपके पॉकेट में महंगा पहले लगेगा. This is how it is perceived. So total cost of ownership, run down, then maintenance, so n number of calculation will be shown and thrown to you to make you convinced that yes, you are buying something which is cheaper. We did not did that. We simply said a bus which you are taking from Delhi to Jaipur, a car which you are taking from Delhi to Jaipur, you are paying this amount of money, 1,000 rupees or 1,200 rupees. We are taking you into 367 rupees. So the exact cost of less running is being transferred to per someone who is using it. The second part is 1 day EV fare. If you are taking a Innova or maybe Swift Desire on rent to go to Jaipur, you end up paying for Innova, you end up paying around 10 to 12,000 rupees. If Innova Krista is a good car. And the Swift Desire, you end up still paying 6,500 to 7,000 rupees. We are giving you electric car in 4,200 rupees, which is MG ZSEV or maybe BYD. These all vehicles are as good, as sophisticated as Innova, very nicely made by the OEMs, and then you are still on less than half. So this become our power, which usually when you translate transportation from a diesel transportation to metro, you also do it. So in that scenario, we proven to be more powerful to be funded, and then funding, obviously, it has also changed the trend. And the last is the emission cut. So emission cost and per kilometer upgradation cost that I have already shown to you. Two more things only I wish to only add into my presentation is this have to have a hydrogen insertion in terms of next future mobility, whatever it will come. These stations would have hydrogen capability Sinha sir is not there on this panel, but he was there in the financing and the signing of this project's MOU. So hydrogen and the financing, these two parts which I want to cover before I end, is when you are financing a project or when you are getting finance or arranging finance for a project, we need to be utterly 100% sure that how it is going to look like on the Excel sheet and how it is going to look like on the business. From the business point of view, in last 10 years journey of India, there is no bank or conventional NBFC ever came to finance an electric mobility infrastructure. All financing which you will see from banks in EV is for the EV, about the EV. It's about the vehicle. It's not about the infra. This is the first infrastructure which is covered and which is financed by HDFC Bank on a 1-year moratorium period with 3,672 crore rupees for the construction of all 5,500 kilometer highway from Delhi to Jaipur and then Jaipur to Mumbai and Mumbai to forward it goes to Kanyakumari. And during this period, during this space, it is on 0% interest. So the climate financing, or what we call the green financing, the instrument is a part which is still missing. This was created for the project, but I'm not happy with only one financing and one project or one example of such. There would be more requirement of commercial green funding, financing, climate financing to hold the kind of decarbonization country is looking at it, and to end the last part of our conversation, which connects transport and electric mobility together, is how do we look at it when it happens to this is passenger trial. This is not a truck trial. We did not got electric truck or hydrogen truck to conduct trials. So how do we look at it? The main agenda of our nation is to reduce our cost of logistics. If this has reduced 50% of the fare of passenger, where you have to provide internet, then food and supply and driver and everything, if we go for the net zero trucks, hydrogen trucks, it would be less than 50% of what we are paying right now. So these costs and these numbers are to be kept into our high tables. We need to come out with an instrument which can be immediately used by NBFC or banks or formal financing agencies. There should not be our startups or green hydrogen, green mobility, electric mobility, fossil fuel or future mobility startups running around investors to get it. They should be eligible for a conventional and official financing and funding. That's what I wanted to create, and that's what I wanted also to pass on to our group. Thank you. Have a great day and look forward to the discussion.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Shrimati Mamta Shah ma'am, MD and CEO of Urban Infra Group, to please kindly present the memento to our honorable dignitaries on the dais. Mr. Abhijeet Singh Sinha, National Program Director, Ease of Doing Business. Please give round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.